A few years ago, I reached the point where I didn't need to work anymore. Financially, I was done, free, independent. I was 35. But something strange happened. I didn't slow down. I didn't check out. I actually started working more. But this time it felt different. I wasn't chasing money anymore. I was chasing meaning. I woke up each morning excited, not because I had to do something, but because I wanted to. When the pressure of survival is gone and you are doing the work that genuinely interests you, something special happens, something magical happens. You enter a state where work feels like a play. You stop watching clock. You feel this deep, quiet fulfillment, like you are finally aligned with who you are or who you mean to be. And that feeling, it's priceless. That's what fire is really about. Not quitting work, not escaping effort, but designing a life where you have the freedom to choose what lights you up. Fire gives you that freedom. Fire gives you that optionality. Most people hear fire, which is financial independent and retire early, and instantly imagine someone quitting their job in their 30s, moving to Goa and doing nothing. And they think, that's not me, that's not for me. But that image, that's a shallow caricature of what fire actually is. Fire is not about never working again, it's about never being forced to work again. It's not about running away from your job. It's about building a life where you have total control over how you spend your time. Optionality doesn't mean you will stop working. It means you will finally get to do the kind of work that actually matters to you. Fire gives you something rare in today's world: agency. The power to walk away from bad bosses, broken systems, toxic environments. The power to say yes to creative risk, sabbaticals, time with your kids, deep study or passion projects. It's a call option on your future, the ability to act from strength, not fear. Think about it. When your basic expenses are covered, your entire relationship with money and time transforms. You are no longer optimizing for the highest salary. You are optimizing for alignment between what you do and who you are. That's a real win. You stop asking what job pays well. You start asking what kind of life is worth living. And you finally have the freedom to move toward that life. Fire doesn't change just your bank balance, it changes your mindset. When you are no longer worried about rent or EMIs, you make decisions differently. You become calmer, more patient, more selective. In trading, it is easy to see a trader who is not desperate to make money often performs better. They follow process, not emotions. The same thing happens in life. You stop chasing dopamine hits. You start building something meaningful. You create because it energizes you. You work because you want to, not because you have to. And that shift from compulsion to choice, it is the foundation of free mind. Let's be honest. The traditional model of retirement, work 40 years and then rest, was built in a time when life expectancy was 65. Today, many of us will live into our 80s or 90s. Do we really want to defer joy, creativity, freedom until our body starts giving up? Fire flips that model. Instead of waiting for the end, you design pockets of freedom throughout your life. You retire from dependency, not from activity. You retire from stress, not from purpose. And in doing so, you give yourself permission to evolve, explore, and create at your own pace. Now, let's make this real. Fire isn't only for the tech bros or millionaires. Anyone can start moving towards optionality by following three steps. First step is know your number. Calculate your yearly expense, multiply by 25, and that's your fire number. Increase your saving rate, and I will stress saving rate. The higher your saving rate is, the faster you reach independence. And invest intelligently. Use equity, index funds, real estate, or a combination based on your risk appetite. But here is a secret: you don't need to reach full fire to feel the benefits. Even saving 1 to 2 years of living expense gives you breathing space. This is where it gets exciting. Let's look at the math of freedom. If you save 10% of your net income, you need 40 years to retire. Make it 50% as a saving rate, and it will take only 15 years. But if it is 70%, 8 to 9 years you can retire. And make it 80 to 90%, you could hit fire in 3 to 5 years. It's not about being extreme, it's about simplifying your life, removing what doesn't serve you, and building assets that give you leverage. This kind of math is empowering. It shows you that the biggest factor is not income, it's how intentionally you live. Every step towards optionality gives you more control, more peace, more power. So here's the real question: if money was no longer a constraint, how would you live your life? What would you stop doing today? What would you start doing? What if your calendar was filled with things that give or gave you joy and meaning, not just obligations? Fire is not the finish line. It's a design principle, a way to build life around your values, not your EMIs. It's not about luxury, it's about clarity, not about status, about peace. When you reach that place where you have the freedom to walk away or the freedom to go deeper, you are not just financially independent, you are mentally and spiritually free. If this video sparked something in you, I invite you to reflect, not just on money, but on meaning. What would your life look like if you had the freedom to choose? Drop a comment below and let me know, what does freedom mean to you? And if you are building towards that life, subscribe to Market Mind, where we explore markets, mental models, and designing the life of clarity and choice. Thank you.